You need to play Reverse 1999 right now, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. Now, unlike other Genshin clones or games that kind of look too action RPG-y and kind of share the same paradigm of how they look, being made in the same engine, Reverse 1999 is honestly a breath of fresh air. I know there are some people that don't like the idea of chibi games, and while this isn't entirely a chibi game, this is kind of like a half animated, half 3D, half 2D, live 2D kind of mix. Now, regardless how you actually feel about the art style, this is definitely a standout among its competitors or the other games in the market currently. Now, in terms of character design, there's also just an insane variety of characters. We have a character like A Knight who is basically not even actually a character. He's a floating cape and sword with knight gauntlets. We have a Ghostbuster Redux character with multicolored shades. And we have the character that I know you guys all actually enjoy, the Nightgown character. Now, character design aside, there is something also really appealing to this game, and that's the ultimate splash art animation thing, whatever you want to call it. You have no shortage of different characters. You have no shortage of different kind of ultimates or designs between any of the characters. And for some of these ultimates, they're so unique or different, and I'm not really sure how they even got the inspiration for this. Now, obviously, for the whale, you know, this is very applicable for all the gacha gamers within us, or what we aspire to be. But even for An Li, we have this first-person shooter kind of POV where she like walks in and there's like a scary ghost. Like, what? And finally, if the character design that you've seen in-game, or if the ultimates weren't enough, just look at these splash arts. These splash arts are obviously not chibi or don't have anything to do with that. And regardless, again, if you care or don't care for this, there's an insane amount of detail put into just the splash arts of these characters. The detail in fabric, buckles, little accessories that each of these characters have. The character that's stuck in a jar that's on An Li's back. This is kind of an unreal amount of attention to detail. And while character design is definitely unique and there are plenty of characters like TTT and my favorite character of all, Door, it would be absolutely spot on to say that this game has its own special charm. If we move along to the story, this is the other half of what most people consider to be Reverse 99's greatest selling point. This game is completely unafraid to be dark. The personalities of characters, events, or actions that are taken by characters in the story all vary between humorous, exciting, confusing, and just outright sad. There are plenty of twists and turns, and something that I thought was really insane is that the main character actually has a personality. We aren't just a soulless husk, main character, player 1007 million, whatever, that has random dialogue that we can choose from, and we kind of just feel like we're self-inserting. The character that we play has their own set of feelings, emotions, and decisions that they want to make, regardless of how much we choose to affect it. And for me personally, I think it's interesting to kind of feel like we're in the story, but we're just kind of experiencing the emotions alongside them instead of deciding them for them. Now again, I don't want to spoiler too much, but my initial expectations with gacha games is that they're kind of happy-go-lucky and maybe there's a bit of a dark side, but there's some plot armor, no one gets lost or nothing crazy happens. But that just isn't the case with Reverse 1999. There are plenty of serious topics, serious events, and otherwise unexpected decisions or conflicts that arise in the story. All of this kind of culminates in an odd feeling where you feel like the game is overstepping its bound, or you're kind of concerned if this game is too dark or even fitting for you. But like with the character designs, I think it has its own charm. Being on the edge of your seat is kind of a new experience that I haven't really experienced in other gacha games, and I get it, I definitely skip story on occasion. As a side note, it is nice that they do have the skip option should you desire or don't have enough time to watch all the story at the beginning and you want to get to the dailies, but you always have access to this through the Atlas function, and in all honesty, it kind of treats itself like a movie. So something that I've considered doing and do on occasion is I'll go back and just rewatch parts that I missed, because in all honesty, as a gacha player, I just wanted to get to the part where I could do my dailies and not fall behind. Now, for the most part, everything we've talked about has been visual, and for good reason. This game is very visually pleasing, or it's very visually distinct at the very minimum. But we do have to talk about the audio and the sound quality, because it is insane. Now, aside from the unique character personalities and voices that go alongside them, the dialogue and the game's choices in what kind of voice actors portray each character is magnificent. The characters' voices feel very alive, and the voice acting is definitely some of the highest quality quality that I've ever seen in a game. There's distinguishable voice inflections or accents or kind of like vocabulary or diction that each character kind of sticks within, and it feels very, very immersive, especially when you're hearing these voice lines in-game, throughout the story, or even in combat. But speaking of gameplay and combat, let's get into the main thing that most people will care about when it comes to Reverse 1999. Unfortunately, however, we do kind of have to address the elephant in the room, which is autoplay. We do also have auto battling plus repeat battle, which is above other gacha games in the market right now. I understand that other servers within Reverse 1999 started with auto battle that you don't have to beat a level in get access to. But even with what we have right now, which is auto battling after clearing and then being able to use repeat battle, that's kind of a huge quality of life in of itself. And if global also gets that in the future, of course, that's only going to improve the experience of players that are playing this game. And for casual players, that would definitely boost their likelihood to try or even play Reverse 1999, just because as it is right now, I understand that the card shuffling and some of the mechanics are kind of tough. That being said though, between the tutorial, the intuitiveness of like the UI and how similar they are to other systems, and kind of just how simple the gearing and upgrading process feels initially, it's clear that this game cares about the experience that players are having while they're going throughout the story. Now, me personally, I've been playing this game casually on the side. As you guys know, I play a lot of other gacha games, but I typically play all-in games. And to be honest with you, this is the first game that I've been able to kind of casually play on the side without too much thought or stress of having to do their dailies and stuff. Now, admittedly, I did buy the battle pass because damn, that Charlie skin looks pretty good. And obviously, I've been kind of suckered into the mindset of buying into a battle pass because surely $5 worth of value is worth it, right? But ultimately, even if I hadn't, this feels like the sort of game that even from the get-go, we've gotten so many login rewards, social media milestones, etc. that give us so much free rewards or pulls that it feels very reminiscent of other gacha games that are very, very generous. And those are the sort of games that have kept me, I'm not going to name too many, but you guys know the main game that I play is also very generous, and that one also does pretty well. Just saying. But if I did want to be a bit more serious about the game, it feels like there's such a ceiling to what you can do with this game. I've seen crit teams, physical teams, poison teams, debuff teams, healer teams, tank teams. There's a lot of diversity here. And coming from other gacha games that kind of shoehorn you into you have to play this meta, this is obviously a PvE game, so at the very minimum, assuming that it clears or it does something well for you, you can play whatever the heck you want. Now, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to treat this in the future. I'm absolutely loving the story. A lot of the characters kind of make me feel bad when something bad happens to them or when they feel bad, and I've kind of been too attached to them, which is not a great thing, but I guess a good job or good work from the company themselves. And so I'll leave you with this. Not only is this the best time to play because you don't want to miss out on all the countless login or social media rewards that we've been getting between events and new player, and we're about to get out of the initial phase of receiving rewards for signing up. Now is the best time to, at the very minimum, give Reverse 1999 a shot. I myself come from a PvP gacha kind of background, and maybe this is the gacha game that I need to try that doesn't really need PvP in order to be successful or for me to enjoy it. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, turn the notification bell, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Reverse 1999. Make sure to check out the rest of my socials for any help or questions you have about this. If you want to talk about Reverse 1999, etc. I'll see you guys all in the next one though. Adios.